100% my fault. So I should have had those dates available, but we did not have those dates available. So it's all good. We are in mentoring right now. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. There's not that many people here today just because we added those dates. Hopefully we won't have an issue going forward. We didn't have a date set up for today. So I set up a date and then I sent it out. Okay, so let's go through every trade from the scanners and see what we liked and what we didn't like. First trade was Flex, and I actually, after seeing this trade, I was like, I would never day trade a 70-cent option. So I actually bought these at 65. I sold these out at 65. I think no harm, no foul. I don't like signals. Why would I day trade? Like, the volatility has gone down a lot, and ATRs has moved down. So I don't really love this signal here. So I probably wouldn't. I got into it at 65. I sold it at 65. What happened to my Macy's calls? So Flex, we're going to lower that on the day trade scanner, guys. So if you have the day trade scanner, we're going to lower it to under 50 cents. So just keep that in mind. This in the future will not hit. RAD, this hit the tape. If you were fortunate to get into RAD somehow, I'm not saying you could have got into it, but if you were able to get into RAD, they actually hit both profit targets. So if I go into RAD and I look at RAD, the weekly 18s, I think you could swing trade these two. It does have a big ATR here, and the chart looks pretty good. So RAD, if we plotted this on the 5-minute bar, you can see the volume spike here at 40 cents. If you were able to get into it at 40 cents, they actually traded up to both profit targets. So there's the volume spike at 40. Okay, so volume spike at 40. You got profit targets here at 50 and 60. So those are our winning trades. In at 40, out at 50, and then out at 60 in RAD. So RAD, a great signal here. In at 40, out at 50, out at 60. Marathon MRO. I got into this at 15. I got out of it at 15. So, you know, a lot of these signals, guys, if you don't get that quick spike, you just want to take them off and just move on to the next trade. So you can see here in MRO, I did buy this with my real dollar count. I bought a 2-lot. I was in this trade for 9 minutes. So I bought these for 9 minutes. In at 15, out at 15, out of the signal on this one. Okay, next one was, so that's all for day trade scanner. Option hacker, first signal of the day. I always think the first signal of the day is always the best signal of the day. Macy's, we saw calls being bought 31 cents. As you know, I like Macy's. I always like Macy's. In at 31, they're up to 41 here, so that's good for about 33% profit. Next one, LUMN. And, you know, one thing you got to take in consideration is they do have earnings coming up. So I can use a different one of mine. And when you're trading, you should usually look to take off stuff before earnings. As you can see, they have earnings after the close on the 5th. So just realize this is going to be higher risk, higher reward in LUMN. I don't think that it's going to be a bad signal. It's just higher risk, higher reward in LUMN. So LUMN, I thought was a good signal here. RDSA, and one thing you guys got to look at is the size, quantity of the offer. So in RDSA, the quantity size, there was like 1,000 offered at 70 cents. So I actually used this signal to sell calls and buy stock. I use this to sell calls and buy stock here in RDSA. IQ, you know, IQ, TME, VIAC, you know, these are all kind of very similar. You know, I think they're fine. It's just the problem is we see them hit a lot. So where did this one go? I think I deleted that accident. So we see here, this is IQ. You know, if you want to take these, there's been losing trades. So you just got to take into consideration that the signals are, I still think their signals are good and they're actionable. There just hasn't been a lot of really good trades. So we see that here in IQ. I still think the signal's good, guys. FSR, Fisher. I love this signal here. I was actually saying I wish I got a signal here in Fisher. These are next week, next week 15.5. If I was a betting man, which I am, I would take a lot of these. I mean, the chart is terrible, and the stock's actually going lower. But, you know, with an ATR of $1.32, I basically get almost 9 trading days. Okay, 9 trading days, even though the chart looks weak. 20 cents. How do you say no? Might be double bottoming here. I like Fisher here. And then TME, once again, guys, TME, we see a lot. Okay, so TME, we see a lot here. So TME, don't really love it here. You know, 87 cents in TME. You know, if I'm taking like, the difference is if I'm taking an IQ trade in 34, and I'm taking a TME trade at 87, that 34 can potentially double. The 87 really has to move a lot to double. So if I'm going to take something in IQ or TME or VIAC, I'm going to make sure they're really, really cheap options. 48-hour spike, one signal day, Home Depot. I actually fat fingered it. I was trying to buy a 2-lot and I bought 200 of these. Total accident here. So Home Depot, 187. I think they're okay here. They're up to 205, so they're up a little bit here. Then the last one is short squeeze scanner. Short squeeze scanner. Macy's hit twice. When something hits twice, guys, don't be like, it wasn't a good signal. Why is it hitting twice? Think of it as, hey, it's twice as good as a signal because it did hit twice. So Macy's here did hit twice. These are the 521, 19 and a half at 31 cents. So I do like the signal here in Macy's. And then we saw TME calls. Once again, TME, guys, like you can put on your radar, maybe look for a bottom here, but it's really hard to be wanting to buy TME calls, VIAC, you know, and if you're going to buy them, I'd rather take the ones that are 30 cents, to be honest. I don't really love the ones that are, you know, way, way higher. So if you want to take these in TME, I'd be looking for an option less than 50 cents. Just take that in consideration. So I apologize for the little bit of delay today. We didn't have a time set up, so I will take blame on that. Does anybody have any questions at all about anything? We have about 3 minutes left to go in the period, and then I have to run out to a team call. Does any have any questions about anything? Could you quickly analyze, review the bid ask? Yeah. So in, let's say in RDSA, I'm trying to think of like a good example. Now they're not that big, but let me try to find one. Maybe GE. So here's an example of just GE, right? So this is GE, right? And then we see here in GE, just look at that offer size. Okay, look at this offer size. So let's say we got a signal in GE. You got to look at the bid size and offer size. So you guys should have the exact same settings that I have up here, which is volume, open interest, bid size, ask size, high, bid ask X, okay? And this is what we're looking for, ask size. So let's say they came in to buy these for 4 cents in GE. There's 1,500 on the offer. So that means someone has to buy 1,500 of these just to move up. Okay, 1,500 of these just to move up. So that's why I look at the offer size. So does that make sense? The offer size. You want the offer size to be 10, 20. You don't want that 1,500 lot. So I could take a screenshot this or just write it down. Volume, open interest, bid size, ask size, high, bid ask, and that's everything you want in here. Cool. So we'll be set up for tomorrow, so we're okay for tomorrow. I have to send out this buy right in RDSA to my team. All right, guys, that is it for me today. Everybody have a great day. We'll send out the recording. I'll see you guys. Thanks, everyone.